What up, my fellow Knicks fans? This is your guy Marcellus Ease, and don't panic quite yet. Just when you think the Knicks are on the up and up, and you will never have to look at Summer League again, the NBA and the ever-changing landscape pulls you right back in.
Just when I thought I was out, they pulled me back in.
And as the new CBA kicks in, from this point going forward, it is going to be very vital that teams that are in contention with a number of high salary players on the squad are going to at some point have to land on a late first round to second round draft pick, very similar to the Miami Heat with Jaime Jaquez. And to be real specific, I'm making reference to the 3 to 4 year college player who understands certain team concepts and principles and could come in right away to contribute. Those are the players that will be highly valued by contending teams. And starting this season, we'll see how pivotal this situation is going forward, especially for the teams like the Phoenix Suns, the Denver Nuggets, and the Milwaukee Bucks. The defending NBA champions Boston Celtics have already utilized this formula, as they are ahead of schedule, having key role players in Sam Hauser and Pritchard. These late round picks for the time being will help the Celtics maintain their talent levels, while at the same time being restricted going forward on what trades they can make and what kind of players they can sign in the offseason, as they will be fishing on the minimum player market and relying on late first round to second round picks. So this is why going forward, even though the Knicks are performing well right now and we're not necessarily a Summer League team, every team in a way, whether good or bad, is a Summer League team because you have to cultivate your own talent. And speaking of talent, we also have to add to the fact that the league is getting an influx of talented players from around the world. Jalen Brunson being a second round pick and having the season that he did last year will not be an anomaly. So with that in mind, in this segment right here, we'll be taking a look at Tyler Kolek at a first glance of what skill sets and techniques that he can bring to the Knicks second unit. And throughout this segment, we'll correlate it to the Knicks current roster, especially when Thibs is rotating between the starters and bench unit. But I'm not going to say no more. Let's just get to it.
See, as you can see, the more you fuck around, the more you're going to find out. And also, if you stay down here and you never fuck around, you'll never find out.
Alcohol, right.
Now, last season in the second unit, the Knicks needed someone who can play make, break down the defense. And one of the main attributes in Kolek's player profile is that he's a penetrator, especially off that pick and roll. And he's very comfortable with maintaining his dribble in the paint, something we rarely seen from that second unit when Brunson's off the floor. Right here is a prime example of it, as he's going to create an opportunity on this catch as he runs towards the ball, and it's going to create an opportunity for Pacon. Just reflecting on last season, as we see here, McBride, a lot of his assists didn't really come off a dribble penetration. And that was an ongoing issue with that second unit, sometimes stagnating that offense. Guys were taking a bunch of tough shots, and just having someone who could break down that defense could get Brunson a little bit more rest. He was definitely working overtime last season, and that's not really sustainable year after year, especially with deep playoff runs. So options are starting to open up for that second unit, especially with McBride. He came through last year in the postseason, and boy, he was hitting some big shots. With the Kolek addition, he could get him better looks, and he can improve things for Julius Randle, especially because with that second unit not really having a penetrator, we see Julius bringing the ball up or just getting the ball out of position and having to play make. That's not necessarily his bag. He definitely went through it in the 2021 season, having lost Kemba Walker and Derrick Rose to injuries. And we've seen in that thumbs down season, him being put in that spot does not work. And with Jalen Brunson eventually coming through, it opened up options for him. And now when Thibs starts substituting out that first unit and he blends Julius in with that second unit, Tyler Kolek could provide some options. As we see Julius Randle right here having to start from the three-point line and post up. Check out everyone on the floor. There's no real dribble penetrators. So now Randle kind of has to get into this bag. This is the position we seen Randle at in that thumbs down season, constantly bringing the ball up and being stuck to play make out of this position. So again, right here, we see Randle with that second unit along with OG. No dribble penetrators on the floor at all. So he's stuck playing that point forward role, going one-on-one with Paolo, and he's gonna dribble right into a tough shot. So you see where Tyler fits in, sort of a plug and play, so he doesn't have to settle with the shot clock winding down for tough shots like this. Here he is penetrating off these re-screens, and the defense knows that. See the collapse creates an opportunity for open shot. As we see here, Tyler's dribble penetration. Imagine this with the second unit. He collapses that paint, and now shooters are available. See right here, always penetrating. Defenses collapse, shooters will be available. So just imagine with the second unit right now. It's early in the possession. Look how quickly he penetrates and breaks down the defense. So this could be OG in the corner or Mikal. Randle could be out here in his sweet spot, which is right here and right here. Or even Deuce. Deuce has shown that he can knock down shots from time to time. But shots will come a lot easier. As Pacon still is adjusting to the NBA three-point line. It's all good. Look at Tyler right here off the inbound. Quickly penetrates and draws the foul. Look at Tyler early in the shot clock. Puts on the move. Woo! Draws the foul. So right away with the eye test, a quick observation is his attacking ability. Fuck him making a shot. Just the tenacity with that attribute alone is something that is much needed with the Knicks second unit. Now, due to his lack of speed, it's going to be interesting to see how he penetrates some of these defenses and how quickly can he make the proper reads after getting that dribble penetration. It'll be interesting to see how him using his momentum to catch the ball in stride, as we see here. How will it translate on the NBA level? This could also add to his bag of just penetrating defenses. Now, along with his dribble penetration, he has shown a great feel for the pick and roll game, making passes in tight spaces, maintaining his dribble in the paint, operating in dribble handoffs, and from time to time, we've seen him look off defenders, making the additional skip pass to the open shooter. Nice little chemistry right here with Ariel off the dribble handoff and the rescreen. Good pass right here. Just not able to finish. Now right here in this pick and roll situation, Kolek kind of gets his Trae Young on with this shot pass to Ariel. Right for the finish. So in the pick and roll with Ariel, Tyler's showing a little creativity, looking like Jay Will out here, aka White Chocolate. Tyler right here off this pick, right through the arms. Woo! Nasty. Tyler once again right here in tight spaces. Great pass. Tyler right here collapsing his defense. Look at this pass right here. Ooh. Ariel just got to finish those. Tyler right here showing off the versatility, threading the needle. Ooh. So naturally, we're seeing Tyler is comfortable making these sort of passes in tight spaces. And again, this is Summer League. We're not necessarily looking at the results. We're sort of looking at the technique and how a lot of this correlates to what we need when it comes to the Knicks bench unit. So we're sort of getting a first glance of what possibly could translate technique-wise into the next level. And Kolek's ability to maintain his dribble in the paint, being patient till something opens up, is another thing that stood out. So Kolek's ability to maintain his dribble in the paint is going to open options up for others, as he has an open shooter in the corner right here, and is going to open up things for himself. Now to dive a little deeper into Kolek's ability to dish out dimes, get into his passing bag, it's going to bring much needed pace to this Knicks offensive unit, especially the bench. In this modern NBA, the Knicks still play at a very slow pace. And in the Summer League, he's shown the ability to put a little pep in the step, especially in transition. And one of the main things that was most impressive about him getting into his passing bag was his ability to look off defenders and get the additional shooter an open shot. Very similar to the Matador himself, Luka Doncic. Tyler sure doesn't have his height, but he's making the most of it. Now in the Knicks' 5 Summer League game appearances, Kolek's offense was pretty much, I would say, slightly below average. He shot 36% from the field and 31% from 3. But it's not a bad start. Again, when it comes to Summer League, you take it with a grain of salt. But a few things did stand out. He missed a lot of open 3-point shots. And in the NBA level, defenses will adjust and take away his penetration. And teams will give you the Russell Westbrook treatment that we see NBA defenses apply to him today. Kolek's rim finishing ability is also going to need fine-tuning, as that was something that he struggled with. But even with his lack of size and speed, he did show his willingness to attack the cup. And as his NBA body fully develops, he should be able to finish a couple of these shots right here. Now, to combat some of these offensive struggles, Tyler's going to have to find spacing off a pick and roll like this. He's going to create spacing right here. He's going to need to master these type of plays. See how he jumps to the left, creates that spacing? He's going to have to master these floaters or just any type of conversion on these type of shots. It's almost as if he has to get into his Jalen Brunson bag right here off the pick. Now he's going to have to find his spacing to create his own shot due to his lack of speed and just, for the moment, rim finishing ability. But he kind of gets it to his Brunson bag right here. Here's another example right here. Tyler rejecting the screen and just a nice little step back, create that space. He's going to have to work on converting on those. But there's a lot he's going to learn from Jalen Brunson to improve his scoring ability, especially for his player archetype. He doesn't necessarily have the size or the athleticism, but there are counters that he could definitely apply to his game. One of them being right here, as we see, this is going to be a fake dribble handoff. This is something that Brunson utilizes all the time. See, fake dribble handoff throws off both defenders. There was a slight hesitation right here. But with that slight hesitation, Kolek was able to convert on an easier shot at the cup. And another tool he could add to his belt that Brunson improved on from his first year on the Knicks going into his second year is the pull-up 3 game. You see, defenders expect Kolek to penetrate, but early into his career, he could definitely surprise defenders by working on that aspect of his game. Now, another dynamic to pay very close attention to when it comes to Kolek's offensive evolution during the season is how well will he develop chemistry with the Knicks centers. You see, a big part of last season that contributed to a lot of Brunson's success was the chemistry he had with Hartenstein. All those re-screens that Hartenstein was throwing at defenders, knowing which side off rip would give Brunson the best angle, or just being in sync with Brunson, knowing which angles he already wanted to take, or whether to ghost the screen and completely operate out of the short roll. And this bond was really built in the second half of the season, and we've seen it utilized to a perfection in the playoffs versus the 76ers. Hartenstein and Brunson might as well have been doing the tango together, because the pick and roll game they ran on the 76ers, it was beautiful to watch. And it earned Hartenstein a huge payday down there in Oklahoma City. So definitely monitor the Knicks center situation, especially at backup, as that will play an importance on the point guard play throughout the season. But going off of first impressions, Kolek is looking like what we needed, especially in that second unit. With the proper development, he should be able to showcase and make things a lot easier for Julius Randle to not handle the ball while Brunson sits on the bench. He could also generate easier shots for McBride as well as Josh Hart while he's making his cuts. And of course, he's going to make things a lot easier for the new addition of Mikal Bridges, who could operate and catch and shoot as well as off ball. So just having that initial penetrator makes things a lot easier for when Brunson is getting his rest. The only thing we'll see how it plays out for Thibs. Kolek did display throughout the Summer League that he struggled to keep defenders in front of him. And we all know how Thibs feels about defense, especially mistakes coming from younger players. But hey, first impressions are definitely looking good. Knicks in the past few seasons have shown that they can develop players. We've seen it with McBride, quickly, Julius Randle, and of course, Mitchell Robinson. So until next time, you fellas stay safe. Peace.